Namo Namaha Bhavtam Sarvesham Hardam Swagatam. Welcome back to my channel Sanskrit Sopanam. I hope you are doing great. I'm also good. And continuing in a series learning Sanskrit through Gita, today we will decode the 27th shloka of the chapter 1 of Bhagavad Gita. And before moving ahead, I just want to quickly recap the context so far. So in the previous shlokas we have seen that Arjuna, he asked Sri Krishna to place his chariot in between both the armies so that he can take a good look at whomsoever he has to fight this war of Mahabharat. And in the last shloka, we saw what Arjuna sees in those armies is the people who are related to him. So those people are not unfamiliar to him. They are not strangers. They are related to him. They are all his relatives, his bandhu, and some of those people are like father figures to him. Some of those people are like his teacher, like his grandparents. Some of those people are like his friends, his elder brother, his younger brother, his sons. So all those people with whom he has to fight this battle of Mahabharat, they are not strangers. They are his blood relatives, his actual friends and companions and kins and good-hearted people. So that is the context so far. And from now on, we will see how this entire situation is affecting Arjuna's morale, how it is affecting Arjuna's self-confidence. He is losing interest in waging this war because this war he has to wage against his own blood relatives. He has to take the lives of his own blood relatives, and that is what is causing so much sorrow, trouble to him. And that is actually the entire premise of Bhagavad Gita. That Arjuna, in his dejection, in his sorrow, he places this doubt, he places this question to Sri Krishna. He shares his feelings to Sri Krishna that this is too much. And what pursues is Sri Krishna's answer all his doubt, all his questions. And this conversation makes up for the entire Bhagavad Gita. So this is the interesting part we have arrived at. So very interesting. I just wanted to clear the context so far. In case you have not seen the previous video, since all these videos are connected with each other, they are in continuation, don't skip any video. So in case you have not seen the previous video, I'll leave the link somewhere in the top right corner. So yeah, that is it. And now without wasting any more time, let's quickly dive in decoding today's video. Okay, so if you remember from the last video, this line of the 27th shloka, this we have already covered in the previous video. Why? Because this line was contextually connected with the previous shlokas. So this we have already covered. So in this particular video, we will cover first this second line of 27th shloka, and we will also take up this first line of 28th shloka. Why we are doing this? Because again, these two lines are contextually connected with each other. So it is best that we decode these two lines together so that we get the entire contextual meaning also. So okay, I'll just quickly chant these lines one. Tan samikshya sa kaunteyah sarvana bandhuna avasthitan. So this is the second line of 27th shloka, and this is the first line of 28th shloka. Kripaya pareya vishto vishidan nidam abravit. So these two lines we will decode today in this particular video. Okay. If we'll move forward, again, we have the original line in Sanskrit, and then we have the Sandhi Vichhed version. So Sarvana Bandhuna Avasthitan. This on Sandhi Vichhed opens up as Sarvana Bandhuna Avasthitan. Three individual words. Same goes for the second shloka also, the second line also. Whatever Sandhi is happening here, Vishidanidam Abravit, Parya all these detail, everything is available in the PDF file. You can download the PDF file from the link in the description box, go through it, go through the word by word breakdown so that in case I miss out anything in the video, you can find it in the PDF file. So go through it, download it, keep it for your reference. As for us, we'll just move on with decoding the shloka. As always, we start with an anchor word, abravit. Abravit, we have already seen before also. This means he spoke. Abravit, he spoke. Who spoke? We'll see further in the video. This particular verb form, this comes from the dhatu bru. Bru dhatu. We have already seen this dhatu before also. Bru means to speak. And this particular verb form, this is in past tense. Past tense, that is lang lakar. Lang lakar in Sanskrit. Then third person. Third person means pratham purush. Why third person? Because Arjuna is doing this action. So some third person is doing the action. So past tense, third person, and obviously ekvachan, singular. So in these three properties, this particular dhatu bru, it changes into abravit, which means he spoke. So this is our anchor word. Let us move forward. Kaha, who spoke? That is the obvious question. And the answer is Sah Kaunteya Abravit. So now see, this is coming from this line. So you see how these two lines are connected. We got the kriya from the 28th shloka, first line, but we got the karta from the 27th shloka, because again these are in continuation. So that is what. Who spoke? The response is Saha Kaunteya Abravit. So Kaunteya, this is our main karta. Kaunteya means Arjuna. This is another name of Arjuna. Kaunteya, again, I hope you remember all these things because these names keep on repeating themselves. So we have already discussed these names before also. Kaunteya, this is a Apatyavachak Sangya. That means this comes from his mother, Kunti. So the son of Kunti is called Kaunteya. So Kaunteya Abravit. Arjuna spoke. And Saha, this is simply a pronoun. And this pronoun comes from the Pratipadik Tad. That Arjuna spoke. Why? Because again, all these events Sanjay is narrating to Dhritarashtra, right? So imagine some third person is telling about some other third person that Arjuna he spoke this dialogue. So in that sense, like a conversational sense, we are using this. Okay. So Saha Kaunteya Abravit, that Arjuna spoke. This is what the sense here. Let us move on. Now the question is Kim Kritva. So Kim means what? Kritva means having done what? That Arjuna spoke, but what did he do before? Kim Kritva, having done what? After doing what? Arjuna spoke whatever he spoke. And the response we get is Samikshya Sa Kaunteya Abravit. Samikshya means having fully seen, having thoroughly seen. That is what the sense is. Let us understand this word, Samikshya. This particular word comes from the dhatu ikshya. Ikshya dhatu. Ikshya dhatu means to see. And very recently we saw this dhatu also in 22nd shloka, if you remember. Yavatetan niriksheham. There, this particular dhatu was in combination with this upsarga, nira, nirikshe. So that meant Arjuna, he was telling Shri Krishna that park the vehicle so that I can see all those warriors. Niriksheham. Then we also saw this particular dhatu in 23rd shloka. Yotsamanan aveksheham. There, this particular dhatu iksh was in combination with this av, upsarga prefix, aveksheham. So iksh means to see, to observe. And here, interestingly, this particular dhatu is in combination with twa suffix. This is the suffix, this is the pratyay. And if you remember, what is the use of this suffix? This suffix is used to modify the verb root in the sense that this kriya is already done. Ye kriya karke, having done this action. So having studied, having eaten, having seen. So in that sense, we use twa suffix. Iksh dhatu, when it is modified using twa suffix, the word becomes ikshya. The word becomes ikshya, this. And samikshya, why? Because we have a prefix, upsarga sam. So sam plus ikshya, the word becomes samikshya. Simply meaning having fully seen. This sam is emphasizing the meaning a bit more. That ikshya means having seen, samikshya means having thoroughly seen. That is what this upsarga is doing, and that what generally prefixes do, that they enhance the meaning of the verb as per the context of the shloka. So Samikshya, having fully seen something, Arjuna spoke this sentence, spoke whatever he spoke. Okay, so far so good. Let us move on. And now the question is Kan, whom all? That having fully seen, having thoroughly seen whom? And the response we get from the shloka is Tan Sarvana Bandhuna Samikshya. So 3 words, and the meaning is all those relatives. Having seen all those relatives. So let us understand all these 3 words. So the main word here is bandhun. Bandhun, this comes from the pratipadik bandhu. Bandhu means a familiar person, someone, a relative, your relative, bandhu. And having seen all those relatives. So obviously this is in plural, bahuvachan, lot of people, right? And since this bandhu, this is the karma, the object, Arjuna saw them. This is the object. So this is in second case, dvitiya vibhakti. So in second case, plural, this bandhu, it changes into bandhun. It changes into bandhun. Means having seen relatives. And this particular word sarvan, this is simply an adjective enhancing the meaning. Sarvan, this comes from the word sarva. Sarv means all. So having seen all the relatives. So sarv also changes into same Second case, second word case, plural form. So changes into sarvan. Sarvan bandhun, all relatives. And we have another pronoun also, tan. Tan again comes from the base word tad. Tad means that. So having seen all those relatives. So in the sense of those relatives, we are using this pronoun. So again, since this sarv, this tad, all these things, they are pointing towards this particular noun bandhu. So they are also following the same vibhakti vachan, everything. So this tad also changes into second case plural and becomes tan. So having seen tan sarvan bandhun, all those relatives, Arjuna spoke. That is the sense here. Okay, so let us move on. And now the question is Kidrishan, what like? These relatives, how are they described in the shloka? And the response is Avasthitan. Avasthitan, again, we have seen this word also many times before. Avasthitan comes from the Pratipadik Avasthit. And avasthit simply means someone who is settled, someone who is stationed at some place, at some particular place. So avasthit means stationed. Here we are talking about those people who were stationed in the army of Kaurva people. So in simple words, you can think that all those people who were present in the Kaurva army, avasthit, who were situated, settled in the Kaurva army. That is the sense up till here. Okay, so far what we have decoded is that Arjuna, he spoke. Now, when did he spoke? So, after seeing all those relatives who were present in the Kaurva army, after seeing all of them, he spoke. This is the context so far. Now the question is Katham Bhutaha. Katham Bhutaha means how being. This particular word I don't think I've used before. This word is very similar to this Kidrishaha. Why we use Kidrishaha? When we want to probe that how this particular person, this particular thing is described, the adjective basically, to pick out the adjective, kidrishaha. Similar to that is katham bhutaha, that how is this person described, what is his state, that is what the question probes, how being. And how Arjuna, he is described in the shloka is avishtaha. Avishtaha means was overcome. So let us understand this word avishtaha. So avishtaha, this comes from the first, the prefix, the upsarg is a, and the dhatu is vish, vish dhatu. Vish dhatu means to enter. Very common use of this dhatu is pravishati, upvishati. Pravishati means to enter in some room, in some place. Pravishati, and upvishati is to sit. That upvishatu, kindly sit. So all those words come from this particular dhatu only. Vish dhatu simply means to enter. And in our sense here, this dhatu is referring that some kind of feeling entered Arjuna. So if in night suddenly we hear something, suddenly that fear comes in us. The fear enters us. So that is the sense here. The feeling entering Arjuna, in that context, this particular dhatu is being used. What feeling? We will decode further in the shloka, but that is the sense here. A is the prefix, wish, to enter, and this particular dhatu here, this is being modified using ta suffix. Ta suffix or ta pratyay. What does ta suffix do? We have already covered this also in previous videos, but again to refresh, ta suffix simply changes the meaning of the action, the verb, into meaning has been and whatever the action is. So basically it changes the meaning into its past form. That action has been done, whatever the action is. So pat, this means to study, to read, right? And if I modify this dhatu using ta suffix, simply means has been read. The action has been done, has been read. So if I add this pustakam, pustakam patham. So pustakam patham simply means a book that has been read. Here Arjuna avishtaha. So if I take this entire thing, a plus vish plus ta suffix, the resultant word, it becomes avisht. And avisht simply means someone who has been entered or someone who has been overcome, has been entered with fear, not a very proper way to speak, but has been overcome with fear, with whatever feeling. That is more accurate sense contextually. And here we are talking about Arjuna, Kaunteyaha. So this also changes into same first word case, Prathama Vibhakti, singular form. Because this avist becomes verb based adjective. All these points we have covered before also, that when we use the suffix, it modifies the verb, the dhatu, into becoming verb based adjective. That this also becomes adjective now. It will describe whoever the concerned noun is. Here we are talking about Kaunteya Arjuna, Arjunaha Avishtaha. That Arjuna has been entered. Arjuna was entered. That is the sense here. Was overcome. A better way to speak of this. And the obvious question will be Kaya. With what? Arjuna was overcome with compassion. Kripaya. So this kripaya, this comes from the Pratipadik kripa. Kripa means compassion. Kripa means compassion. In Hindi we say karuna. So kripa means compassion, and in third case ekvachan, singular form. Why third case? Because I want to say Arjuna was overcome with kripa. So I want to add this with kripa. So that's why we are using the third case. So in third case singular, this kripa changes into kripaya. Just as any other akarant word, mala, suppose it will change into malaya if I want to say with mala. Okay, so same declensions form, how particular noun declines into its particular word case. By now these things start to make sense, because lot of other words you just have to identify what is the category of it. This kripa, this is a feminine gender word, and this is a akarant word ending with a a. So all those feminine gender akarant words like mala, sita, all these words will have the same kind of forms. So mala changes into malaya. Similarly, kripa, it changes into kripaya. And actually this kripaya, this we use in Hindi also. Kripaya, don't do this. Please don't do this. So please don't confuse. Kripaya, don't confuse this word with that sense. It's not the sense here. Kripaya, this is coming from the word kripa. And kripa means compassion. I want to say that Arjuna was overcome with compassion. That is why kripaya. So this is this is now describing the mental state of Arjuna, that how he is being affected by this situation, this entire situation. So that is what is happening here. If I move forward, kidrashya, pareya kripaya, pareya. Again, this pareya comes from the word para. Para means extreme, extreme, or in Hindi you say atyant. Atyant karuna. He was filled with atyant karuna. He was filled with extreme compassion. So using extreme compassion here, the poet is trying to drive home this point that the entire situation was so much overwhelming for Arjuna. It was too much for Arjuna to handle all those emotions rushing in him. That was emancipating him. So that is what the sense poet is trying to make here. That is why he is describing this compassion also with an adjective, extreme compassion. And now the last question is Kim Akurvan? While doing what? So this was the mental state, and then Arjuna spoke. But Arjuna spoke while doing what? And the response is Vishidan Abravit, meaning while desponding or sorrowfully. That or you can think while grieving. While grieving, Arjuna spoke. That is the sense this Vishidan is giving. Let us understand this word. So Vishidan, this comes from the root sad. Sad means to grieve or to despond or to lose control, to lose the morale in that sense. And then we are modifying this dhatu using shatr pratyay. This shatr pratyay again, I think we covered in the 12th shloka. Again, I'll leave the link. Shatr pratyay, what does it do? Shatr pratyay changes the meaning of this dhatu into present continuous. So, I was studying while eating. He was playing while singing. So, all these things while doing some action. So, present continuous. So, in that sense, whatever action comes, we change using this shatra pratyay. So, to grieve, and then if we modify this using shatra pratyay, so the resultant word, it becomes vishidat. Vishidat. This is the word that is formed with this particular modification. This vishidat simply means someone while grieving, someone while desponding, someone while losing control does some other action. So this is how this particular dhatu changes using this suffix. So while doing some action. And since we are talking about Arjuna here, Kaunteya, that Kaunteya spoke. He spoke while grieving. He spoke while desponding. Sorrowfully he spoke. That is the sense here. That is why we are changing this verb-based adjective as per the karta, Kaunteya. Kaunteya again is in first word case. So obviously this Vishidat also is in first word case, single, ekvachan. All those three properties. because this is also now an adjective. So Vishidan abravit, while desponding or sorrowfully or while grieving, Arjuna abravit. Arjuna spoke. This is the sense up till here. Okay, and with this we have completed the shloka. Let us open the translation also and see the anvay. So, tan avasthitan sarvan bandhun samikshya. So, samikshya, having seen. Having seen whom? Having seen tan avasthitan, all those stationed avasthitan, bandhun, relatives. Having seen all those relatives who were present in both the armies, Sah Kaunteya, he, that is Arjuna, Parya Kripaya Avishtaha. So, Avishtaha was overcome. Overcome with what? Kripaya, overcome with compassion. And Parya Kripaya, overcome with extreme compassion. So he, Arjuna, was overcome with extreme compassion, and Vishidan, sorrowfully or while grieving, while lamenting, idam abravit. So okay, I missed out this word, I think. Idam, this simply means this. This pronoun is pointing towards whatever speech or whatever sentence Arjuna is going to say now. That Arjuna spoke this sentence. So in that sense, this particular pronoun is being used. That Vishidan, sorrowfully, Arjuna spoke this sentence, and whatever he spoke will come further in the next shloka. So yeah, that was it. That was the entire decoding of the shloka. The good thing about this shloka was we had three dhatus. So we had one dhatu iksh. Iksh means to see, and how that dhatu was being modified using twa suffix in the meaning having seen. And then we had another dhatu wish. Wish means to enter, and this particular dhatu was being modified using ta suffix. That means has been entered or was entered, changing into its past form. And then we had another dhatu sad. Sad means to despond or to grieve, and this dhatu was modified using shatra pratyay. Shatra pratyay changes the meaning into present continuous. That while doing this, while grieving. So three separate dhatus, three different suffixes, and how they modified the dhatu, and in what context, in what sense, in what use. So this part of this particular shloka was interesting. All these details are available in the PDF file also. So do download that PDF file, and you can also refer to the video that I'll attach with this one, the 12th shloka, I think, where these suffixes were present, and we discussed these suffixes there also. So just for cross-referencing it. So anyways, that was it, and I'll see you in the next shloka in the next video. Until then, keep learning, stay awesome, stay happy. Vayam punamilamaha. Dhanyavad.